Hi, welcome back to another video of Ben's Machines. So today we're back in the garage today and I have a chainsaw that I'm working on. The chainsaw I'm working on today is a RYOBI model number C4618. So 46 cc engine with an 18-inch bar. Before we start, let's talk about shop safety. So since I'm in the garage or in the shop, I'm wearing safety glasses, and when I'm using chemicals or solvents or gas for cleaning, I'm gonna make sure that I don a pair of gloves. So just to give, I know that there's probably a lot of videos already out there that give reviews about this kind of chainsaw, but this video is a little bit different because I'm going to start off by focusing on sharing with you the points of failure of this chainsaw. And I've been working on saws for a long time and never came across this specific failure before, so this video is just going to hopefully serve as a way to share with you what I found. So in order to disassemble the saw, you're going to need the following tools to do that. You're going to need a T25 torque screwdriver. I'm using my 1/4 inch drive, my 1/4 inch 6-inch extension, a 10mm socket, and a 13mm socket. I'm also using my 1/2 inch electric impact tool, and I'm also relying on my plastic Tupperware bin. I use this to clean parts, so I put the parts in the bin and I use old gas, and I use a brush or an old toothbrush, and I use that to clean the parts off. For starters, one of the first things I wanted to show was when I tried to start the saw and I pulled on the recoil. When the recoil was attached to the chainsaw, this happened. So the recoil wasn't engaging with the flywheel or with the chainsaw, and I couldn't start the engine. So using my T25 wrench, I unscrewed the 4 screws that hold the recoil on, and I found the following. So let's look at the damaged recoil on the table. So the recoil goes like this on the chainsaw. So after you remove the 4 screws, you pull the recoil off, and I rotated it like this, and you can see that the recoil drum, this plastic piece, it has grooves which mate or which engage with the flywheel. In this particular case, I don't know if the camera can pick this up, but these grooves are completely worn down. So there was something going on here where the flywheel was not engaging, or the recoil was not engaging with the flywheel, and subsequently this part started to prematurely wear down, and because this part is worn down or damaged like this, it doesn't properly engage, and thus it doesn't properly start the chainsaw. So let's look at what a good recoil with a good starting drum looks like. So this is a good recoil for this particular saw, the 4618, and as you can see, it will also, like this, will fit like this. When you flip this over, you'll see that this is what the drum should look like. So this plastic piece, I'm just using my screwdriver as a pointer. You see that all these grooves in this part, they're all in really good condition. There's no wear at all. There's, you know, this part isn't worn down at all. So once this part is reinstalled onto the engine, it will make proper contact with the flywheel, and therefore you'll be able to start the saw properly. In addition to the problem with the recoil, I'm going to show you what I found when I removed the flywheel. So on my work table I have two different flywheels here. I have the damaged flywheel and I have a good flywheel. So the damaged flywheel, you can see a piece of the aluminum is actually broken away, while the good one, as you can see, there's no breakage at all. And if we flip these things over, you'll see on the damaged flywheel, in the damaged flywheel, the aluminum locating pin or keyway is completely gone. While on the good flywheel, or the good parts flywheel, if I rotate this in the light, you'll see right here, this piece right here is in good condition and it's intact. It's very important that this keyway is available or present, because it has to locate specifically in the flat or in the groove that's machined in the crankshaft of the engine. So in the case of the damaged flywheel, because this locating pin was damaged, the flywheel was spinning freely on the engine and not engaging properly. This saw right here, another problem with it is the four screws that screw on the recoil. They're screwed into essentially a plastic chassis, or the body of the chainsaw, right here in those four spots. This saw, the recoil has been put on and taken off so many times, or those screws have been installed and removed so many times that the threads are essentially gone. So the screws don't really hold securely into this chassis anymore. So just to recap, what we found is the key way on this flywheel was damaged to the point where the flywheel was no longer engaging properly on the engine crankshaft, and this recoil drum or recoil mechanism inside was worn out to the point where it wasn't engaging properly with the flywheel. So the plan is, I actually have another chainsaw. So this is the other chainsaw that we have in the shop. It's also a C4618 chainsaw. So we have I have two chainsaws of the same model number, and the plan is that we're going to try to rebuild one chainsaw out of the two. This chainsaw has already been disassembled, and as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, all these parts have been cleaned already with gasoline in my parts washer. So I did that so that you can get a better view, or a nice clean view of the saw before we do the rebuild. The close-up view that I want to show on this chassis is just to show that The chassis itself is in really good condition. These holes that support or used to mount the recoil, they're in very good condition. The threads are very good. However, this engine appears to be a little bit more worn than the other chainsaw. So the reason why I figure that is you see the piston itself is a little bit discolored, so it's possible that this saw ran hot, and therefore there was some heat buildup, and you can see this through these heat marks. The piston doesn't have any scoring in it per se, and nor does the cylinder. This is the cylinder, so the piston rotates in and out of the cylinder once it's installed on the chainsaw like this. The cylinder itself looks like it's in good condition. However, I think in the view of the two saws, I want to rebuild one, so I think I'm going to choose the engine out of the donor chassis, and I'm going to install it into this chassis. So stay tuned for the next video as we begin the process of tearing this part saw down and reassembling one chainsaw with the best parts.